would like to ask you, the first workshop I took with you was the dark and uncomfortable scenes.
Online.
And yes, online. And it was very successful, and you did it again and again. So could you tell us a little bit more? What is it about the dark and uncomfortable scenes that you teach?
The dark and uncomfortable is something that came up out of my urge to do some sort of improvisation that is not just only funny and silly, but can be funny, silly, but also a little bit relevant, to tap on current event stuff, to be a satiric thing, and to make the audience feel and think about things that are happening nowadays, and not just, giggle in an escapist way that has nothing to do with our reality. Because it seems to me like it's such a shame that we have this tool of improvisation, which is entertainment, but also like it's us, it's who we are, it's what we care about, but we sort of like leave it out before we go to the show, and we only talk about unicorns on stage. So I'm like, no, what's a way to make the audience think, laugh, cry, but definitely laugh? It's definitely still a comedy for me, but I think it could be a richer comedy. It could be a dark comedy, it could be a satire, it could be a very political comedy. So these things are, because I've done it for many years in Israel, like political or like social comedy, it's important for me to try to bring it also to improvisation and show people that it exists.
So you say that the dark and uncomfortable scenes, you like that because it introduces subjects for the show that are not just necessarily the yes and happy thing. So not just for the show, do you think this is also a way of training the improvisers to be able to cope with subjects that might feel offensive, and how to cope with that kind of scene?
It's not that we're not yes-ending, right? We're using all the tools that improvisation has, but just instead of creating unicorn la-la-la scenes, we're trying to make people a little bit uncomfortable through darker things. I find that as an Israeli, we're very used to talk about dark issues, maybe not so much politics per se, but we're very related to the darker side of life. And I think that I find that maybe in Europe, in some countries, it's like people don't want to talk about it. They're just like, they're not interested to talk about it, and it's not making them feel good. And there's things that they're not allowing them themselves to think. And what is a better time now when this is happening, right? Where people are like, no, we have to talk about the tough things.
It's a very common thing that if an improviser feels uncomfortable about the subject that the partner is talking about, they go like this because they don't want to go into that.
Yeah, is that a thing? Yeah. Is that a...
But yeah, it could be like this, or it could be, just to say, I don't want to talk about it. I want out of the scene. Yeah. But through your workshop, I think it's a good way to saying, I do want to talk about the subject. I'm not afraid of talking about it. You confront these difficult subjects.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid to play the bad people, and I'm not afraid to play other kind of people. I'm not trying to mock them, because I'm trying to actually tell a story here, and this is only me and another couple of people, so we're going to do our best to represent everybody and to talk about everything. And again, it's not for everybody. Like, if people want to just have fun with friends, sure, don't come to this workshop. It's absolutely not for you. But if other people are, it's like, what is this? It's like, I don't know. It's I understand the need for that, but I can also think that, okay, it's also because I'm coming as my training is as an actress. So for us, it's like when something is tough and when something is wrong, is hard for you. You go there because, as my Russian acrobat teacher said, where it hurts, this is where things are happening. You want to go to the pain because this is where things are actually happening within your personality and within your mentality and psychic, because it hurts. So, and you want to be able to reach those areas in order to use them on stage. So for us, it's not easy, it's not fun, but it's a challenge. It's part of the job, right? As performers. And so I'm saying, if improvisers feel that they are performers and they are a tool that is supposed to reflect society to people, you have to know how to tap in also to the comfortable and dark sides of our existence. But if you don't, then don't. It is absolutely not mandatory, and not everybody has to do it.
Yeah, that's interesting, because most workshops, the teacher starts by saying, do you have any accommodations to each one of the attendees? And they might say, today I don't want to talk about the war in Russia, or today I don't want to talk about animal cruelty, or, and so...
I mean, there's a big difference between, let's say, not talking about the war right now in the Ukraine, because it's so current and we have no way and we have not enough vocabulary to talk about it because it's on the going. But there's so many things like animal cruelty. You don't want to talk about animal cruelty? I mean, I don't ask that. I've never had problems with that. And if we're going to talk about animal cruelty, let's find a way to talk about animal cruelty. Let's say something about people who are cruel to animals. Let's not support animal cruelty, but let's try to think about maybe why are people doing it? What is behind it? What can we say about our society and about people who are cruel to animals? Like, this is good material. This is good stuff, even for comedy. We're not laughing at the animals. We're not trying to laugh at the abused animals. We're trying to say something about the people who do it and how we react, whatever. I think there's a way to accommodate everything, and this is very important for me. Like, if people want to take my workshops, we come to work, and I mean it in the best way. Like, let's work. Let's try to become better performers. Let's even try to, maybe as a side effect, become better humans. But let's work. Let's go to where it's difficult. Let's meet the challenges. Let's try to be more elaborated performers. So again, if it's for you, do it. If it's not, do not. Everything's fine.
So when people like to follow one of your workshops, I think you have a website.
The best way is a newsletter, and I'm accessible on Messenger, on WhatsApp, on whatever we can add, Instagram. And then the best way is just a newsletter that comes out whenever some cool stuff is happening, and then they can learn about the scenes, about the workshops. And it's fun. Listen, in the end of the day, it has to be a lot of fun. It has to be enriching, and it has to be, again, coming from the perspective of comedy.
Yeah.
This is important to remember.
And so this is the end of our next episode with Inbal Lori. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Inbal.
And we'll see you soon again. Hopefully.
Bye-bye.